Brasco and Beast. Fit, fabulous, and frisky.
Well, I have been doing a lot of reading about seitan and the fact that it's called wheat meat, and that it has so much in the way of protein without the fat and without the carbs, and it's utilized by utilizing vital wheat. So today I wanted to try to put a combination of a lot of the things that I've researched about this to see what kind of wheat meat I'm able to come up with and just see how it turns out. This is my very first time ever trying it, and I'm kind of doing a little bit of what I've saw online with different little things dealing with the color, the taste, things that I saw that were vital for it to taste good, and try to put all of it together for my own little special flavor. I don't know if it's going to turn out to be a masterpiece or a mess, but we're going to find out. Here, let me show you the ingredients before we get started. To be honest, I'm using a little bit of everybody's recipe, okay? I'm using liquid smoke, soy sauce, seasoning salt, that's my own addition, nutritional yeast, cumin, black pepper, that's my additional right there, little addition, gourmet burger seasoning. Believe it or not, coffee grounds. I thought that was interesting. Onion powder, garlic salt or garlic powder. Smoked paprika is what they call it. I only have paprika because I also have, where is it? Liquid smoke. I got liquid smoke somewhere. Balsamic vinegar, tahini, which I was told is very important. Everybody was using tahini. I'm going to use portobello mushrooms because I'm going to saute that early with the canola before I boil the whole thing in mushroom broth. And then I'm going to use the beet so I can give it the red color, along with the onion, bell pepper. Of course, the most important ingredient is the gluten-fat flour. So I'm going to create a dry mixture with a lot of flavoring in it, and then a wet mixture, put them both together. I'm going to saute my onions and all that, put all of that together, then pour that into my food processor, blend it up with my beet to give it a red blend or red color, then mix it all together with the flour, make a big ball, then come back here and slow simmer it. Right now, I'm trying to get my head around this entire recipe because I've got so many different versions of it rolling in my head. But I've gone ahead and I've chopped up my green onions, I chopped up my beets. I've got my garlic because it ain't, some folks put garlic. I'm just going to use minced garlic to shorten the time frame. I've got all that, so I know I've got to get a good dry mixture with a hot, wet mixture before I mix it all together as dough. I'm going to start off with the stuff I know how to do. That's for darn sure. I know how to saute these vegetables. So I'm going to put this here in here. Put this in here. Along with these onions. I know how to do this part if I don't know nothing else. Along with these bell peppers. Ain't gonna matter because I'm gonna grind them up anyway after I'm done cooking them, right? This part I know how to do. I'll do this while I'll do them simultaneously. I'll get the dry stuff together too, I guess. And over on the other side of the kitchen, we're doing the dry stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and put this wheat in here, gluten flour in here. I don't know how much. Seitan. Well, wow, there's a formula right here on the package. I guess I could have did that, huh? Is it right there? You know they say reading is fundamental, right? So right there on the package it says wheat gluten, nutritional yeast, granules, onion powder, crushed fennel, turmeric, soy sauce, 1 cup of molasses, 1 teaspoon of tahini, 1 tablespoon of oil, 1.5 cups of mushroom or vegetable broth. There you go. I'm gonna go with 2 cups it is. 1. onion salt. Get some more garlic salt. Don't let me forget the cumin and the seasoning salt. Tripping. Okay. Put that down, son. Get that going. Dry and wet ingredients going simultaneously. Right? Okay. What do we got going next? Now I'll start adding the mushrooms. Probably shouldn't add no more than that. It's probably got to be enough. This right here, in and of itself, is a meal fit to be eaten right now. But we want to cook it all down. You know what? I do not have the courage to use this. Scratch that one. Scratch that ingredient. I don't have the courage for that. Okay. So, I'm going to go ahead and blend this up. Maybe using a little bit of this. A little bit of this. A little bit of this for my wet mixture rather, and a little bit of this, all of these wets. I use a lot of these wets to blend up that to make my wet moisture so it can go with my dry mixture, not moisture, but mixture, and see how the two come up with a beautiful lump of potential meat. And I'm definitely using that mushroom broth along with these mushrooms and those onions and that garlic. Oh yeah, it's gonna happen. I gotta get it a little more finer than this. It's got little bitty chunks, so probably from me putting too many beets in there, but I'm gonna make it a little finer. Add a little more in the way of broth here. See what we come up with. To mix with my salad. So here we have our dry mixture. Here we have our mixed up wet mixture. Let's see how this runs together. See how this mixes. Let's put this little tahini in here they told me to put in here. Didn't want to forget that. It's a little looser than I thought it would be. Might be because of all the ingredients I put in it. Maybe I need to add a little more of the flour in here. I'm gonna add a little more flour in here. I should be able to knead this, knead the dough, so to speak, you know? That's what I was told, that's what I read. It should be kneading the dough. To where it's, you know, sticking together and all these other wonderful aspects of kneading the dough. So I'm gonna put some more on here. I can always put some more liquid on top of it. Okay, now it's kneading more like I saw now it's kneading a little more like it did on the videos that I've been researching. This is so fascinating. It really is. I still got some more of this left, which I guess I can bottle up and use for later, for other meat, make meat later. But this is fascinating how red it is and everything. There it is, like a hunk, literally a hunk of hamburger meat that needs pepper. This smells, it doesn't smell like dough. It smells different. It smells meaty. It feels meaty. It feels very meaty. Meaty. You see that? It feels very meaty. This is crazy interesting. Fascinating, fascinating. I'm gonna do it simmering on top of my stove because I'm gonna use that same stuff that the same pan that I sauteed the other ingredients in. That way I can use my leftover sauteed ingredients as simmering ingredients as well with the mushroom broth. I've already added the mushroom broth that I had left over. I got another mushroom broth as well. That's not gonna be enough. It's a big old piece of hunk of meat too. It's over here sitting, becoming more congealed. Right? And I'll just flatten it out. I'll just flatten the stuff out and put it in the pan. You know what I'm saying? Go with it how I know with it. Well, I'm always the kind of person who wants to be economical with my time. So I spent this time to put the mixture, the lump, in the refrigerator, kind of because I remember some people saying they put it in the refrigerator, let it sit for 15 or so minutes. Simultaneously, so I went to go ahead and clean up the kitchen and get my simmer on at the same time. So first of all, let's take a look at this. Kind of getting the simmering going while this has been sitting in here. So this is going to be my magical hamburger meat here. So I'm going to go ahead and play ball with this stuff and see how it works. See how it goes. Slowly for a half hour on one side, slowly for a half hour on the other side. Let's see how it turns out. It definitely sounds like it's starting to cook finally. Yeah, starting to finally cook a little bit. Okay, and I've got my additional mushroom broth on standby if I need to fill it up with any more. But I'm going to let this go ahead and play out for about 30 minutes. 30 minutes covered. Then I'm going to flip it over in 30 more minutes and let it slow cook on that side too. Essentially, just slow cooking the whole thing in the broth and the leftover ingredients that I had when I sauteed it, using the same pan, all of that good stuff. So it's what, we're at 8:22. So we'll come back here at about 9 o'clock, I guess, to flip it over. Okay, so here we are at that time frame. Let's see what's going on with this. See what it looks like. Yeah, it looks like ground beef that's cooking. Yeah, that looks like straight ground beef, doesn't it? A lot of seasoning on it. We're going to flip that thing over so it can keep on cooking. I think I'm going to cut this in half and cook this. It's spongy. It's cooking. I'm going to add a little more mushroom broth to it. So I'm going to grab this here. Put just a little more broth here. not only am I going to add some broth, but I'm going to add some liquid smoke. And I'm going to add me just a tad of soy sauce. I'm going to let this cook. Because it's cooking. And I had to split it up into 2 pieces because it was so thick. But let me see. Looks like a loaf. Yeah, it looks like a thick loaf. But I'm going to let them cook. I'm going to let them cook for a minute because that stuff is thick. So I wanted to cook for a little while to make sure it's done. All right, we are timed up. Look at that. Wow. Wow. Looks just like 2 big gigantic hunks of meat. I cannot believe how much like meat this is. So I can take this out and then fry it up as whatever meat I want it to be. And it's meat. I can freeze it and keep some pieces and all that kind of stuff. Let's take it out and see what it looks like. Wow, that's 1 half. I'm about to get another plate for the other half, huh? That's it right there. That's what it looks like. It looks like beef. Let's see what it tastes like. I could see. That's pretty damn good. Try that one more. I'll be right back. I'll make sure it tastes that good for real. So it's cooked all the way through. And it's like meatloaf for me right now. I can see how to use this. Like, fry it raw, like when I have the beets in it. Just fry it on each side. Giving it that hamburger feel. And you know what? I'm going to take this and fry it like a hamburger and see how it turns out that way too. Right now, it feels like soft meat for a meatloaf. But it's good. I mean, it's actually good. You would hardly think that this came from wheat. Pow! Blowing my mind. Man, you must be kidding me. Are you kidding me? Look at this. Straight protein. Straight beef. Straight meat. All I need is some ketchup or something, right? And we done, son. We done. Now for the ultimate last test. Take one of these charred pieces and see how it plays. Look at that meat. It works. It is a meat substitute. I know I'll get better at it as I go along. It's pretty darn good. I could see making it into barbecue ribs and everything. That is good. I'd say this is a success. You try it too. Let me see how yours turn out. Holla.